Welcome back to episode 18 of the Hops and Bops podcast. I'm producer Tom.
I'm Joe.
I'm Mike.
And today we got a couple firsts again. We're doing more firsts. It's our first country album. We're doing Luke Combs' deluxe version. What you see ain't always what you get.
Yes.
And another first, we're doing 3 different beers. We're doing Bud Light, Miller Lite, and Coors Light. We're doing the All-American Tailgate.
Yeah, how can you not, you know?
And we have another guest, the beautiful Amanda.
Hello.
How are you? Yes. Joe's fiancé at the current moment.
Yes, and at the
Tom
current
just ran up on.
I know. I'll have to speak to you after the episode. Yep, still fiance.
Yes.
Thanks, COVID.
Yeah. Thanks.
That's all right. We'll see you next year.
That's it. Well, this year.
Oh, sorry. I apologize.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
let's crack them open.
Should
we
we?
got like tall boys of each
Yeah,
one.
what do we
'cause
16-ounce cans. We should
couldn't-
just go in alphabetical order.
That works.
Start with the classic.
we
Bud
couldn't
Light.
we couldn't bear to get like a 6-pack of these. So
Yeah.
I don't need to drink 3
Bud Light.
piss bottles.
yep.
At least they're cold.
This is
All
throwing me
right.
back to college.
I feel like I've had a
Oh,
country
yeah.
classic
Look
already.
at that. Super transparent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Classic urine sample.
Slight
Looking like
bubble.
ginger ale.
Sure, we'll get some.
Yep.
It actually does look like ginger.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Has a very dehydrated color.
Yes.
Yeah, they need to drink some water, not piss water.
Do we even know what hops are in this? I don't even know. Like,
Yeah, it's like I think it just
Barley.
says like hops and
It says
barley on the
hops, Best
side.
barley, malt, and rice. Cool.
Rice.
Has anyone been to this brewery?
No, I haven't.
Anheuser Busch? You ever heard of
Classic
them?
Bud
This-
Light.
This was like $1 something at the liquor store.
Huh.
Just a solo can.
It literally smells like just a fucking college dorm room
Yep.
vomit infested.
Oh yeah. Well,
This feels like what our trucks like, or smells like what our trucks smell like after we leave a country concert. Because
Yes.
it literally exploded everywhere.
and
Like,
Whoa.
that,
back of a-
that's why you're a perfect guest for this, because you are a country fan. You do tailgates a lot. So here you go.
It's so funny that at one point you drank this.
Yeah,
and
this
we're
is
like,
my
oh,
summer.
I'm drinking it. And now we drink it and we're like, it's just like flavored gross water.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Like this was
bad.
the pinnacle for us for a while.
Pretty
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, got the 30. Yeah.
We were
Yeah, grab
higher
your 30
class.
rack.
We
Yeah.
were higher
Let's
class
follow this.
drinking this because it wasn't Natty Ice.
I know. We never did
Light.
that.
No.
We started with
PBR.
We jumped.
this. PBR.
So on their website, it just says hops.
Just hops.
This aromatic ingredient is actually a flower and provides Bud Light with its smell and slight bitterness.
So it's like when
Where's the what?
it's when
It
things
reminds me
go
of,
like obsolete.
It
And
reminds
like
me,
they get sold to like the job lot stores.
it reminds me
That's
of
what
a
these are.
childhood book version of beer.
Even the hops look pretty weak.
Like we're talking about all
It's
these
like-
IPAs,
Yeah.
and it's like
Fine color.
Citra and Mosaic hops, and then you have the children's book version. Bud Light has hops.
Hop.
Hops are a flower.
Yeah.
And it
Look at
has
how pretty
rice.
the flower is.
It has rice,
Rice.
barley, and water. Little known fact, it's like
Water?
80% water.
I just think we have 2 more of these.
Wow.
Yeah,
Can't spell diet
I
without
must admit-
die.
2%.
I like the Miller Lite.
You still like Miller?
still
Yeah.
like
So
Miller
you're.
Lite.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet, Amanda.
I
Jump to the
apologize.
shark.
I'm just
Right.
overexcited over here.
She is, but that is
I'm
the
thrilled.
point.
All
We're gonna
right.
be comparing.
So, are we gonna little album?
Yeah.
Yes.
Little album
We'll-
chat.
And then we'll a couple songs in. We'll.
Yeah.
I would like to start if that's okay with you.
Go ahead.
Oh, wonderful.
So I feel like, for at least us, not necessarily for Amanda, whenever we were asked the question like, "Oh, what kind of music do you like?" I feel like I would always say, "I like everything except country." I don't know if that's the same with you, but that's
I hear
kind of
that
what
a
I
lot.
always did.
Everything except country.
Yeah, like whenever
Yeah.
someone asked like, "Oh, what music do you like?" So I was always in that kind of boat. That kind of changed for me in college last year or so. I had a couple friends that were really into it, and they always just listened to it when I was around them. So I kind of got more into it then. And I was saying this to Mike before we started. I feel like a lot of country music, for me personally, is very vibe heavy. Like I feel like you
Yes.
have to be in a specific setting to understand it fully.
Correct.
Now it is at the time of recording, it's December 20th, so not necessarily the best time to be listening to country.
Yeah, right.
It's like 5 days before Christmas, but
And when this comes out in January, still also.
yeah. So yeah, a lot of it is kind of meant to be not focused on super well and
Right.
kind of be put on in the background to have a better time with it surrounding it. So I feel like it's a bit more difficult to review as a critic. But I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
There you go.
I didn't enjoy it fully, but I
Yeah.
enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Anyway.
So I agree with you, Tom, that this is a vibe album for me. Like, you'll find out throughout, but I actually was a little disappointed in this album. I'm a Luke Combs fan. I gravitate towards him and Zach Brown when I think
absolutely.
of country, more so some of the other solo artists. I was really looking forward to this, but it kind of didn't live up to what I was thinking. However, if we're hanging out outside, playing long games, summer party, I'll put this album on in the background because it matches the vibe. And that's, for me, like what I got out of it, for right now at least.
Yeah, I mean, I just, one thing I gotta say is, what is with 2020, 2019, what is with these 17, 18, 25, 37 song albums? Like,
They're just streaming fodder at this point.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like
put out as much as you can without focusing
again,
on
we've talked about
quality
the
a
whole
lot,
idea that people are into singles, they want the big hits, so the rest of the songs kind of fall to the background music. And I guess as a podcast, obviously we are big into albums, and just for me, like, I can't get into these like massive hour and a half albums that are just like, I don't know. And then you throw country, which I gotta say with Tom, other than the transition in college where Tom got a little more into it, I have never gotten into it. I
fair.
try. I mean, I'll do the Southern rock.
Yeah.
Aaron Lewis solo country. Like, okay, yeah, I get that. But just something about this style of country. This was hands down the hardest album that definitely during the podcast to listen to for me.
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest. A couple of songs I heard the intro and then I skipped. I didn't even listen to the whole song. I just couldn't do it. I actually have a process where I, listen to the album once and then listen a second time and try to take notes. And about 3 songs in, I realized that there was absolutely no way I was going to listen a second time. And then I just completely broke my cycle and I didn't even take notes. I just didn't have the thoughts. I really had to on this one. Yeah, we'll get into more, but this was rough for me. I even let my hair down and tried to go full white girl, and didn't make a difference. No, it did not work out.
Should have wore the flannel.
Yeah.
I don't even think I own a flannel.
I
think the closest thing I have is work boots.
Yeah.
There you go. We're boots, hair down.
He's got the tucked in flannel shirt today.
I figured out dress for the occasion.
That's good.
Yeah.
Definitely the country boy.
We started going to concerts together, joining her tailgates and everything. And it's fun. It's a vibe. Like, the concerts are a vibe. It's just it's fun to be at, seeing a good performance. Country artists are great performers. But, here it's a different take. We're trying to listen to an album and seeing what we like. Amanda, what's your background?
So I've always really liked Luke Combs. I think as someone who kind of grew up listening to like Garth Brooks and Alan Jackson and all those classic country stars, I'd say like when Luke Combs kind of came to the table, he has that classic feel to him. Whereas a lot of other country artists these days kind of turn more poppy and kind of what they think their audience wants to hear, where I feel like he kind of stayed true to his roots. So one thing about the album I'll say is that I think what's on the radio is probably the best songs I've heard so far.
Yeah.
And then as I was listening to them listening to the album in general, a lot of the songs do sound similar.
Yes.
So I don't usually skip any songs on country albums, but there was a couple I was like, okay, I feel like I just heard this. I'm going to do next for that. But
I think you bring up a good point, because as the album closes, especially when it gets into the bonus tracks for the deluxe version, I feel like I already heard those songs.
Yeah.
Like, we already had a ballad. We already had a 90s country sounding one. We already had this, we already had that. So that's kind of where it kind of faltered for me. But
a lot of material.
Yep, we'll get through it.
I will say it opened okay.
Yes.
I mean, it opened with kind of like,
great.
boom, it hit that like that rock country kind of like, had a little grit in the guitar. I'll say the biggest thing for me is the lyrics. I'm a lyric guy, you know that, and I just can't get past the fact that every song every song is either beer and the best girl ever, beer and the girl that broke your heart, beer and I'm working on my truck. Listen, I love beer. I really do, but I don't know. It's just...
Beer and my girlfriend left.
Exactly. The title is good. Beer never
there.
broke my heart. Like, okay, I like that. That's a cool title.
Yeah.
Like, I get the... And then the song comes in. The music starts off pretty good. You got a little banjo in the background. I'm like, all right, this is okay. And then the vocals come in, and then that's just where I run away.
So is it his voice or is it the lyric content?
It's kind of both.
Yeah, see, I love his voice.
I will give him that he's a little bit of a grittier country singer.
and
So
I
he's
enjoy that.
not like that twangy, whiny kind
Like
of...
stadium
Yeah,
country.
but you just... Something about that, like, voice that just all of them have, that tone to their... I don't know.
Every song has that twang.
It's
the
part of the
I see what
genre.
you're saying.
It is. I just can't get by it.
Country twang.
I love this song actually.
Yeah,
This
me too.
was you know how we just did the 2020 playlist thing. This is on my 2019 playlist. That's
Oh,
how much I liked it. Yeah, I know, right?
Wow.
So this is like the perfect like party country song for me. There's a
Great party song.
It is a great.
there's a country bar in West Hartford we would go to all the time. It's called Rocking Horse, right down the road from
Say that.
right down the road from Russian Lady. And we would go there and listen to this song and just get drunk and have fun and play
Wow.
this song perfectly. So
I've never
this is
heard
like
this side of town before.
this was like
I'm
the
so proud
perfect
of
song
him.
for it.
Yes.
It's got the good solo at the end. I really like the charisma and the energy the track has. It's a really good opener for me.
Oh, yeah. For
I
sure.
think it could have been saved a little bit later because it kind of
Blows your load right at the beginning.
Well, and that's what I was thinking. Like,
It does. It starts off strong and then kind of just
yeah.
dwindles throughout the album.
It starts too high
Yeah.
off for me and then kind of goes
like
down. But
in terms of go-to songs for me on this album, like this is probably it.
yeah, this is definitely
Unfortunately, there's a couple others that I like, which we'll get to, but this is the album right here. I mean,
yeah, it's very clearly the standout track.
and I don't know and then after that, it's like, all right, I know what's going on. So, Amanda, do you like the song?
Yeah, Beer Never Broke My Heart is probably one of the first ones that really got me into him. He came out, he had Hurricane and all those other ones beforehand, but I think this one for this album, I was like, okay, this sounds like what I know, and this kind of got me listening to the album more. But it's your classic party song. Like, I know when I go hang out with my friends, like, this is always on the playlist, and it comes on and everyone's singing to the top of their lungs. Like, it's just... A lot of people that have heard country music these days hear it on a normal radio station, whereas like you have to kind of channel into a country station to hear Luke Combs. I feel for this album at least, it's like you never hearing it because you wouldn't turn on a country station. So.
I didn't turn on regular radio.
Kind
So
of
that
shows
doesn't
that
help
you,
either.
oh, that too, yeah. Could listen to your car probably sometimes, but you kind of have to channel into it to hear him.
Right, because only a select few country people have made it to kind of
The ones that aren't
pop
really true country anymore.
And that's what you were talking about earlier, Amanda. Is
Breaks
when
my heart.
yeah, when
Sure
not like beer
I'm
though.
sure that's a song on here.
It probably is. We got Beer Never Broke My Heart. What else broke his heart? The refrigerator door? No?
Yeah, well, that's our next song,
I think that's
Refrigerator
him.
Door.
Oh, good. Okay.
So I thought Refrigerator Door was decent. It has that reminiscent lyrical content, which I think is a common theme.
I will say that I think
For
I
country.
can sing along to every country song, even not knowing the lyrics or the vocal lines, because they're just so you got those the first two bars are low, then you have that third bar where they raise up, and then they even go higher on the fourth, or they go back down low. It's like the same pattern.
Yeah.
But one thing about country I do like is how their lyrics are symbolism of memories or things
Family,
like that.
tradition.
And this is that song.
Storytelling.
I feel like every country album needs a song like this. I thought it was a decent song.
Yeah.
I'm surprised this wasn't a single. Actually, this wasn't one of the
I
singles.
have to agree with you on that. I thought it would be a single.
Yeah,
Maybe it'll come out.
Yeah, I could hear this dial up right on the radio.
Yeah, after like you said, the only song I knew from this album was Beer Never Broke My Heart. So going right after that to this song was actually, I was expecting a lot more. And I actually was pleasantly surprised with this track. It was very, it was a good deeper dive into something you don't really think about too much, like all of the stuff you have on the fridge door. And it was very lyrical, and I enjoy that more about country tracks. Because like you said, Mike, you only have to do 4 songs with country, and then you got the whole album.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like emotions with it, which was pretty good. And I really enjoyed the hook. I caught myself singing to at work,
Yeah.
just to myself a lot.
Yeah.
So it was a pleasant surprise. So
Yeah.
I like that one.
I like the lyric in the chorus. It's he's got what was it? Magnets, recipes, and Polaroids on the refrigerator.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
It's like our
It's
first.
just right. Yeah. I just thought it was good songwriting.
You'd think at some point these guys would be sponsored and make money, but the amount of times they mention John Deere and Miller Lite and everything, like
They might be.
like at some point those companies got to be like, yo, here's some money, keep doing it.
Keep saying our name.
Then we got Even Though I'm Leaving.
Second single.
This is second single?
Yeah.
Okay. A slower
Second
song.
single.
Meaningful lyrics about a father-son relationship, which I thought was cool. So like right away, okay, song 1 is your party song, intro song, let's get it started. Song 2, reminiscent lyrics, kind of sentimental.
Good memories.
This, slower ballad, really meaningful lyrics. You're hitting on all those themes on a typical country album right at the beginning. And that's why like when we got towards the back half, I'm like, we've already covered all this stuff. So that's why I thought it was a very top heavy album for me.
Yes, absolutely. I wrote it was just lighter and breezier. Kind of felt more tropical to me almost. The reason I say that is because my dad usually would play a lot of Jimmy Buffett in the summertime, like when we're just, and it kind of falls into that same vibe feeling, you know. You put it on in the background while you're doing something.
Definitely.
And that's what that reminded me of a lot on this track. The lyrics about being scared and alone and being comforted by his dad, very deep and emotional, and pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
This one pulls on my heartstrings. It's one of my favorites of this album.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Now, you hear this a lot, right?
This song?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I play it myself sometimes, like even before I was listening to the album more for this, but it's just like such like a calming song to me, I think. But yeah, it is. It's like a very like family connected and very true, like wholesome lyrics, and I think that's
Yeah,
It's one of my favorites.
It's where the first time you really are like the forefront of like the slide guitar right in the beginning there. So you're bringing in kind of another southern aspect. I mean, you could hear other things in the first two with the banjos and different stuff like that, but this is like prominent right at the beginning. That's you have acoustic guitar and then the slide.
Yep.
So
it sounds a little different than the other songs that sound really similar on this album. It
Yeah.
just has its own feel to it. But yeah, definitely very nice, like musically.
And then we got Lovin' on You. This one was like a 90s country song. It had a feel.
Yeah, it was very honky tonk.
Yes.
it has that fade in.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like my high school days.
Yeah.
Right here.
Another theme, like kind of that
Piano
callback
slide
to
down.
like the early like 90s roots. Mentions Miller Lite, by the way, which is his favorite beer, and another beer we're going to be tasting in a minute. But I just thought it was kind of I don't know.
Yeah. I thought the verses were really repetitive, and we just, I got that red light, on the 7-5. It's like, all right, we get it. The hook is really the only redeeming part of the vocals, but it kind of brings the energy back up from the other two songs before it. It's not my favorite, but it's okay.
I mean, I think it loses everything after the intro.
Yeah.
Like the intro comes in and it fades in. You got the drums coming up. Boom! All of a sudden the guitar's coming. You got the horns. It's like this big boisterous intro, and then it just drops off, and it's just him singing with a little guitar and drums. And
Yeah.
that's pretty much.
Loses the energy.
That's it.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I like the energy. I don't like the end of the song.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, care to show us?
Yeah,
This is also a single, by the way.
Is it?
This is the single.
See, again,
This was
top
his
heavy.
fourth single. So there's
Okay.
a single in between.
Okay.
Another thing I want to mention real quick. So as the time of recording this, it's still around Christmas time, but the album is currently sitting at 16th on Spotify's like top albums.
Wow.
Which is interesting because it came out in 2019.
Yes.
So it came out like 2 years ago almost, and it's not even
Yeah.
like it's the only like country album like around it at all on the list. So I
He's
thought that was
huge
very
right
interesting.
now in country.
So he's
Yeah.
really getting that coin.
Yeah, and the deluxe, which we're talking about, came out in 2020, which had a few extra songs added on.
Yeah, like 5 more.
I feel like the reason why he's so popular is because he's that true country that
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
fans are really wishing
Want.
to hear more of. Like Chris Stapleton came out and like he was huge for a while because he had that feel to him. I think Luke Combs kind of
Yeah.
It's like him
is
and
right there, like I mentioned like prior, but
yeah, it's like him and Morgan Wallen are like
Yeah.
the 2 big ones right now.
Ooh.
That's the only
It was
one on the
missed.
Dropping
list.
some knowledge on us,
Yeah.
Tom.
I'm name
Morgan
dropping.
Wallen,
I don't know who that is.
Never
No,
It's
no.
another guy.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, like that.
I
Thanks.
gotcha.
Thanks.
She sounds hideous.
Yeehaw.
All right, and then next we got Moon Over Mexico, which this might be my favorite ballad on the album. I actually like the song. I don't know why. The chorus, I like the way he sings it.
Yeah, it's a bit spacier and
Yeah.
colder.
Yeah. And then after that we have One Too Many,
oh, with Brooks and Dunn.
Yeah.
Brooks and Dunn.
So now, if I was reading correctly, that was supposed to sound similar to their kind of country.
Brooks and Dunn country.
And
It
then,
does. Yep.
and then he pulled them onto the track later. They joined him. Like it wasn't. I don't think they originally were supposed to be on it.
Okay,
I believe
good knowledge.
That sounds
Um,
pretty accurate.
he
This
was
is a Brooks
like
and
he
Dunn
almost wrote it as kind of like a tribute,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think it turned around and ended up having them on it. I could be wrong because I don't know shit about this stuff. But I believe that's what I read in my research.
Another Miller mention. I enjoy.
Again, this guy's getting paid.
I
He's
know,
gotta
right?
be.
I enjoy in the chorus he says, "By 10:30, I'm half past tipsy." I just like
Such a
that
good line.
I like. There's
Love
clever
that
songwriting here.
Well, then we are late.
I know. What the hell?
Maybe we need to crack one after this.
Yeah, we'll crack the Miller after this. Yeah.
Please.
Please.
Should we?
I need it.
I think we need. It's time for another beer, guys.
Yeah.
And gal.
Yep. This
Yeah.
song's got a very like bluesy feel to it, just
Yeah.
with that kind of rocking back and forth, and you know.
Yeah. Amanda as our guest. Which one are we doing
Oh,
next?
we're gonna do the Miller
Miller.
Lite.
We're doing Miller. Okay,
Yes.
here we go. Miller. All right.
Country
The-
references Miller a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only thing I wrote for that track was kind of just a track about alcoholism. Like, there's no stopping me. When I get going, there's no stopping me. It's like, yeah, you can stop.
So anyway, Combs, with his intention on the new track "One Too Many," was to write a song that felt like my '90s country music heroes. They would be proud of, and it marks his second collaboration with Brooks and Dunn.
All right.
Miller Lite.
Miller Lite taste test. Here we go.
Oh, it smells so different.
Classic.
It's
light.
Better
country
than
beer.
Bud Light.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's smoother. It doesn't have
It
that
is smoother.
big hit, but
96 calories.
yeah.
I had to drink
but,
water and beer. This is my favorite.
yeah.
They recently went back to their old can,
Yes.
whereas Bud Light went to a new can.
And then Coors Light's just the same.
just
can.
chilling. The mountains
Still
are
got the
blue
Blue
today.
Mountains.
By the way, anyone listening out there, if you do tailgates, tell us what your favorite tailgate beer is.
Yeah, these are definitely good tailgate beers.
Yeah.
Maybe not Bud Light.
This is what you have in your cooler.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here. We're doing our 3 quintessential
Yeah.
tailgate beers.
Quintessential.
I feel like Bud Light is what the guy brings. That's like, oh, okay, I'm invited to a country concert. You guys drink this. All right, I'll bring the 30 of Bud Light.
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
Yeah.
We got the Miller in the cooler. You're fine.
So selective.
Wow.
You know what you like. Then we got
From experience.
Back to the album, Blue Collar Boys. Easy for me to say. Another storytelling song. This was more of like a self-identification song, I kind of called it, which happens a lot in country.
Yeah.
I feel like this is who we are. This is where we're from. This is what makes me feel the way I do, and I appreciate that. It was a good song. It was all right.
Lyrically, it bothered me. I don't
Yeah.
know what it was. I just thought it was like super corny.
Yeah.
And just very like. I mean, I get that the lyrics are very reminiscent and they're about your life and the southern this and that, kind of the same themes. But for whatever reason, this one, listening to it, the lyrics just really like bothered, like irked
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, all of the kind of quirks that country music has kind of
Yeah.
come together on this. And I feel like this is where the album loses a lot of the momentum for me here. Kind of the charm of the album, or the cautious optimism I had is mainly gone after this one. So I feel like a lot of there are some good standouts, but most of the rest of the album is downhill for me.
Yeah.
After this track, yeah.
And then after that, New Every Day.
I think New Every Day already sounded redundant in the track list, which
Yeah.
is interesting because it's the 8th track.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It was kind of similar to Moon Over Mexico, but it was just more boring for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just boring. There's really nothing going on.
This is, the intro is like almost exactly the same as Moon Over Mexico.
Mhm.
And this is the point in the album for me where it kind of just like, all right,
Yeah.
all right, I get
what
it.
What you see is what you get.
I get it. Yeah.
Thank
Hey!
you.
Hey!
That is the name of the album.
But then, oddly enough, this next song, Reasons, I actually liked the
Oh, I
song.
like Reasons.
Yeah, I thought it was a good song. Good guitar intro. I don't know. I liked it.
I just wrote whatever for my notes.
Yeah, I'm with you. Again, it just sounds.
Whatever.
Yeah, same deal.
Sorry.
Drinking a beer at a football game, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
haven't heard that one before.
But again, I think we're, after a vibe. So it's just something you throw on. You're
Yeah.
listening to country. It's not specifically this song for a specific reason. I don't know.
It's not meant to be reviewed like in depth.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I'll listen to this when I'm like at work and I have paperwork to do. Like I'll throw this on, and that's kind of what I did all week to kind of prepare for the album.
Yeah.
But Reasons, I feel like I always kind of listened a little more intently to.
This one like kind of got stuck in my head more so than others. Like I like the chorus. I don't know.
This is also the point in the album where you realize that the title of the track is just the last thing that he says in the chorus for pretty much everything
That is
on
true.
the album.
Blue Collar Boys.
Yep.
Except for Moon Over
Refrigerator
Mexico.
Door.
That's the first thing he says.
And even though I'm leaving, I realized. But Loving on You, Blue Collar Boys, New Every Day, Reasons,
Yeah.
Every Little Bit Helps. Like all this, they're all just the last line.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny.
Yeah, then that's the next one. Every Little Bit Helps.
I like that one. He reaches the higher register in the hook, which I like because I enjoy vocals a bit more. Kind of highlighted that a bit more for me. This one really shined with its outdoor barbecue vibe at your
Yes.
friend's house. You
The
go and
visual.
this one's on at the barbecue, and you're like, oh, okay, this one's nice. Still overall, pretty forgetful. It doesn't really stick with me for too long. But when it's on, it's good.
Yeah.
Guitar wise, I mean, it finally breaks a little bit of the mold where
Yeah.
you've got kind of like that just empty drum vocal, and then he's got kind of like little licks he's playing rather than, the chords with the acoustic and then electric and then the slide guitar over that or some banjo. So it changed up musically a little bit. So, I mean, that I definitely kind of separated that song from some others.
It's the pickup from the swoop down, and I think I don't know,
Yeah.
this has like a good. I don't know. I'm over here tapping along. I really like this one.
It's a good point. Good point.
It was-
That's
I play this one. Like one of my staff members actually loves it, and she's like blasting it in the office the other day. I'm like, oh, you're playing Luke, all right, I'll take it.
I
That's
see you.
cool.
Yeah, that's one thing I think this album does, or at least tries to do pretty well, is has a decent flow. Like, you got your somber tracks, your more slowed down emotional tracks, and then picks it up more.
Yeah, it doesn't just drop off and stay there,
Yeah.
or it doesn't just stay high the whole time. Like it's got some
Good flow.
decent flow.
Yeah.
I can give it that.
Yeah, I'll appreciate that for what it tries to do, but in terms of the overall album experience, it's still not living up to what I wanted it to be.
It's very
I know,
interesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I wanted so much more out of this album because I love him. I just think he's a breath of fresh air for me. Like, because country has just been so corny for me over the years that I finally got this guy, a good voice, good band behind him, and it's just a lot of the same in the album. It's a lot of the same, even though it does have the flows. The songs that are high energy are all very similar. The songs that are very somber are all similar. And I found myself like later in the album like, where am I? Did I listen to the song already? Like,
I
Me too,
accidentally listened to part of it on shuffle,
yes,
and it didn't make a difference.
yeah,
It didn't make a difference.
Right,
So
that's
I
it.
actually listened to part of it on shuffle, realized about 5 or 6 songs in that my phone was set on shuffle. And then I went back and put it straight through. And then I would notice like 3 minutes into a song, oh, I already listened to this one on shuffle, and I'd skip it. But it was like 2 or 3 minutes into the song, I realized it was the song I listened to.
Right.
Because it sounded like
I know,
it was a mess, but at the same time, it was kind of interesting to like recognize that I was not really able to separate some songs. Like,
Yeah.
it was interesting.
And then next we have Dear Today. I thought this was a cool concept of a song. It started with him just playing acoustic guitar. It didn't even sound like it was like recorded
very raw.
professionally. It was
Yeah,
raw.
it was like a demo.
Yeah, and he's having that conversation. Dear Today, it's tomorrow here.
Yeah, I liked that part of it. And if the whole song kind of stuck with that, like I get the idea. He came in, but as soon as he came in with the full band and like the produced recording, it sounded like every other song on the album.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
prior to that, like had he kept going with that very raw, like emotional, me and my guitar, and this whole song played out that way,
Yeah.
honestly, it probably would have been my favorite song on the entire album.
Yeah,
It
could have been
it just had and I'm a big acoustic fan, so it had that acoustic, sit alone, like emotional lyrics. They didn't, at the beginning, they weren't super corny, so it worked, and then all of a sudden everything comes in and it just kind of lost everything for me.
Exactly, yeah.
I almost felt this song could have been cool as just like a short little intermission that a lot of albums do, like to
like
kind
a
of break
transition.
up,
Yeah.
and just
Like
keep
that.
it that part, like the raw acoustic, and that's the song,
Yeah.
and not have it be a full
No,
blown out song.
Yeah.
not one song on this album is written by the same group of people.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
song
hear
really
all
gets
those
me.
little-
instruments in any of the songs.
Yeah.
Like for such as many
Yeah,
instruments are listed in here, I don't hear them. Like I can't pick them all out.
yeah.
I don't know if I'm meant to do that, but
He's got 3 different bass
it's too
guitar
much.
players on this
That's
album.
too much.
Yeah.
Why?
Too much.
Like, what vibe does one bassist have over another
It's all just
when they all
studio-
sound the same?
Just all
You
studio
really need
musicians,
3
I just don't.
bassists,
I mean,
people for hire.
there's like 4 drummers / percussionists. He's got like 3 guys playing acoustic guitar.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's how
What
a
do
lot
you
of
play?
that's
Oh,
how
I
a lot
play
of
guitar. Why not on your own album?
that's how a lot of country artists are. Even a
Ugh.
lot of pop. They
Yeah.
just have different musicians coming in.
He is the only common denominator on every single writer for all the songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, he's got other people writing on multiple songs combined with other people, but I don't think there's 2 songs written by the same like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then next we got the title track. What you see is what you get. Mike, how does this live up to your title track
Lord.
record?
Even vocally for this guy, like I said, I know you said, Joe, you like his voice, and I'm not like knocking that because he does. He has like a decent voice. He's got kind of that little bit of a rasp to him, which is a little less of the twang that a country but he sings every song the same. Like he doesn't, like you mentioned in the one song he hit the higher register. That's the first time and the only
That
time
one
you've
song.
mentioned that.
Yeah.
Everything else is like your standard cookie cutter, like country, the rhythm of his lines, and I get it. When you're in a genre, you kind of stick to some of that.
Yeah,
but I just
exactly.
feel like he never has any vocal versatility. Like he doesn't
Needs to
just
be more
belt out a
creative.
song, or
Yeah.
he doesn't. It's just, I don't know. I feel like you could put the vocals to any of the songs into another song, and it wouldn't fuck the song up.
Right.
So with this one, he just, again, the music goes up, and then it dies down, and then it's simple and vocals.
Well, that's the thing is that you don't really need to with this kind of genre to shine as vocally. Because how many streams do you
true.
think this song has? Honestly,
Oh, this one's probably through the fucking roof.
21 million.
Yeah.
Just for the like.
Is there any way to
12th
subtract how many
track?
times Amanda's listened to it? Because I should
Yeah,
have bring it
maybe
down.
be up there. Yeah, I'm on there.
Oh no, excuse me, that was the wrong track. This one has 46 million.
Oh my God.
So he doesn't need to shine as vocally. And well, actually, with this one on the chorus, I think he kind of hits that
Yeah.
higher register again. But
And I
you don't
probably
really
turned it off.
Yeah, that's the thing. These songs get crazy amount of plays and attention, and they don't even sound that different from one another.
It's a soothing
Yeah, that's the
country.
thing. is
Right.
that
That's what people look
it
for
doesn't
when they're in
need
that
to.
genre. When they love that music, that's what they want. Like they want to hear that. Like I'm going to use the word twang, but that's so basic. But it's a country twang. It's like what you want to hear when you're listening to a country song.
Yeah, so I don't have a lot more to say about the rest of the album, so I think we should probably crack the Coors Light now.
All right, let's do it.
I have one song I'm really excited to talk about.
Yeah.
There's I mean, I have stuff
Right.
to talk
Yeah.
about.
And then other than that,
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have to go through everything. Coors Light now.
Yeah.
Generally, this is my
Is that us peeing because we've had a lot of light beer, or is that the beer pouring?
generally
Well,
this
looks
is
like
my
it.
least favorite light beer.
Is your least favorite?
Yeah.
I'm
I used to love
I'm not a
Coors.
Yeah,
Coors
this
person.
is a college staple for me
See,
as well.
this is
Yeah,
this
see.
is my favorite out of the three, I believe.
See, that's
Oh, it's
that's
a little more
big
hazy.
Trap, same thing.
Coors Light, not what I remember.
I'm telling you, I've always
The
drank it so
mountains
fast.
are
though.
blue, so
Yeah.
it's good. Again, 16.
It's just Bud Light with extra steps.
Mike's making sure we're drinking every last drop
Oh, yeah.
of these light beers.
We've
And
got
Thomas is
four-
over there hiding his
we've got
glass, so don't worry.
4 people
Real
drinking a
big.
16-ounce
I know,
beer.
right?
If we don't finish it, that's a real issue.
Yep. I would like to point out that out of the three, Miller Lite is the only one that spells it Lite.
Is there a reason behind
Oh
it?
yeah, is there a reason?
I don't
behind
know.
that?
That's a
Just
good
that
question.
People who drink Miller Lite can't stop.
It's Liddy.
It's a vibe.
It's a
vibe.
By like.
Yep. All right. What else we got on the album here?
Better
Wait for my
together. Please talk about better together.
Yeah, we will. Well, we.
We will. We
We're
will.
brings over IPAs.
I need something
What
to
is
wash
that,
this
long
down.
Trail
Mike went to the
bonus.
fridge.
That's fantastic. Does to me is the collab with Eric Church, which okay, cool. There's a collab now, but it's so fucking late in the album. What are we doing?
Well, you put Eric Church there, and people maybe will listen longer.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
true.
that's what
Because
they're
they
going
threw
for.
Brooks and Dunn in earlier. They've got what's her name on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, right, they had
Shires
Brooks.
at the bottom.
Brooks and Dunn isn't a real collab though, because they were on it for only like a line. No, they
They're
like
in it a little
they.
bit more.
I think,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they did a verse or something.
Yeah, they have a whole
a whole
the
verse. You
chorus.
sure?
And of course.
See,
they
you don't even
definitely
remember
sing
it.
up on.
And I probably didn't even listen to the whole thing, and I know that.
I listened to it maybe.
Oh, no. They're in there a little bit more than the
All right, well,
Wikipedia guy.
fuck me. All right,
Drink your Vermont, what is it? Vermont IPA.
I'm not even there yet. Still drinking the
God, I have
CL.
Ooh, that's the problem.
All right, so
Yeah.
then
So yeah, for this track, I actually enjoy some of Eric Church's stuff. Granted, there's only like 4 or 5 country songs that I was really big fan of before this album. It's called "Drink in My Hand." It's a really good Eric Church song. But the way that he kind of collabs with Luke on this, it was not as clean or as synced as I wanted it to be. It wasn't a lot of chemistry. Just kind of was like, oh, he's on the end of the track.
that is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's almost like he needed a rock person. It was like, okay, who's rock, country? Okay, Eric Church. All right, I need you for this.
Well,
Yeah,
Eric
got
Church is
Can I borrow
like,
you for that?
he's like country royalty, right?
Eric Church,
Yeah.
in my opinion,
I'm
I
not
really
a-
used to like him. I don't
Yeah.
think that he's done anything completely over the top that would like have people really kind of go towards him.
Yeah.
Right now, in the beginning, he had some really good songs, like very like. And I remember when we first started
I was
dating, I
just
gave
gonna
you the
tell-
CD, and I was like, "Listen to this. You like rock
Yeah.
music, and I love country music. This is a good collab."
And I
But
was
it's
scared
not-
because I was like,
Crap, if I don't like this, she's
I
not
don't
gonna like
like
me.
this at all.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna like
Divorce.
break up.
It's not gonna work out. Okay, bye.
That's so funny.
ya.
I remember that. Yeah. 'cause
Yeah, no, I
but-
do. But I think like he almost was looking at all right, Brooks and Dunn, cool. They're very like classic country. Let's bring them in 'cause it's a different type of sound. Okay, Eric Church, all right, I need something rock here. Let me grab him.
I found that Eric Church just had a much nasalier
Yes.
country
He has a
tone,
nasal.
which
Mm-hmm.
almost pushed me even further away.
Yeah.
And you're already
He's very-
gone.
And I'm
Yeah,
already,
you're already gone.
And I'm already running.
Yeah, he's,
Yeah.
he's not. You have to really kind of look for something like Eric Church to truly, in my opinion, to truly really enjoy his music. I like it. Is he my favorite? No.
Yeah. And then for me, anyway, the next 3 songs are just kind of throwaways. We've already established what album we're listening to. The
What
themes.
song are we on? 27?
Angels working.
No, we're on 42.
This is a belt grabbing song.
Yeah.
Angels working
Belt
overtime,
grabbing.
son. Nah. Just sounds redundant.
Yeah.
Just sounds like what was it, One Too Many? Or Loving on You? Whatever the honky tonk song was.
Exactly.
You.
We've already established all these themes, and we're just might as well be another album at this point. But then the song "Better Together," which actually this ends the standard version of the album, which I
No.
thought.
The 6 Feet Apart was at the end.
So no, there's a
Wow.
story. So 6 Feet Apart was released in May of 2020 as the COVID song.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
They added 6 Feet Apart to the digital versions once it was released.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I literally wrote a note for
Yeah.
the notes of 6 Feet Apart.
Well, if you
what
look
the
on-
fuck? This came out in 2019.
Yeah.
What it came out November 2019.
He
How
predicted
is
the
this about
future.
He
Corona?
did.
What?
No,
I thought he wrote it about like before it started. I was very
So
confused.
if you go,
Well,
to
he's
a-
actually from Wuhan,
He knew it.
He spread it.
Told you I hated country.
If you buy the physical CD somewhere,
It's not on there.
Better
What's a
Together.
CD?
I know, right? Better Together
nuts.
is the last song.
CD's nuts.
But they added 6 Feet Apart to the digital version of the standard album, and then
okay.
and then the
Makes more
5
sense.
songs after that to the deluxe version. So that's why that is. So Better Together actually ends the original release of the standard album.
I was just gonna say, aside from 6 Feet Apart, I was gonna say that the one thing with Angels Working Overtime, it sounds like Alan Jackson. Like that's
Yeah.
an Alan Jackson
Another
Jackson kind of
throwback.
song. Yeah.
Yep.
That's probably all I gotta really
Classic
say
AJ.
about that.
Yep.
Yeah, classic AJ. That guy.
AJ. Better Together. So I thought it was a cool ending to an album because it was purely vocals and piano. It offered something different to listen to at the end, which we've talked about in other albums. I mean, it wasn't my favorite song, but I thought it gave you something new to listen to without really switching it up entirely for the ending of the album.
I wrote, I'm sure it's cute, but I'm done at this point. Sorry.
No comment.
Yeah.
I just whatever.
All right, gentlemen, I'll take it from here.
Yep,
So I
it's
really
all you.
enjoy Better Together because I feel like this is like, I don't know, when people think like of like relationships and love, I'm getting a little sappy for a second here. It's such like a good like wedding song that kind of ties in your life throughout, like, I don't know, your relationship or experiences together. So I'm like, you kind of, a good friend of mine actually got married to this song, and it didn't really hit me until they actually danced to it that I was like, you know what, this is like like classic country. They love country music. It tied in like their whole, I don't know, whole relationship. So, but it's just like if you really listen to the words of it, it's so wholesome and like you really kind of, it's, I don't know, it just really, it has that good feel to it.
So now we're getting into the bonus tracks. First one is 6 Feet Apart, which I'm actually a fan of. I think this was a song that needed to be written. No one else, like Blink-182 did a song about being in isolation and quarantine, and it just was awful. And some other,
System of a Down put out 2 songs. I don't know if
Yeah.
it has the quarantine
It
related,
wasn't-
but it was very political.
Yeah.
It had to do with the elections and all sorts of
But
stuff, and they
this-
were both very,
whether you like country or not, I think if you listen to this song, you're going to relate to it right away because he touches upon every single thing that's happening and not happening. Shaking hands, giving hugs, watching, live sports, live concerts.
He says, I miss my mom, I miss my
dad.
Yeah.
And it's just a great song. I feel like it's a must listen. And this, when you listen to the deluxe version, this comes right after Better Together, which I thought was kind of like a cool, like 1-2, kind of back to back there.
So now the official start of the
Extended
bonus,
cut,
the
yeah.
extended cut. Cold as You. I actually thought this was a decent track.
Yeah?
Obviously, it's still pretty reminiscent of other songs on the album before it. I think it kind of sounds like Beer Never Broke My Heart.
Yep.
But I would say it's probably the best on the extended album for me.
For me, My Kind of Folk was the best, and simply because of the ending. It sounded like it ended, and then the drummer counted back in, and everyone came back in, and it just reminded me of like an encore song at a concert, like when all the musicians are like taking their bow and there's still music going on.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kind of a cool vibe for me. So like My Kind of Folk was my go-to on the bonus tracks.
I skipped all of them.
I'm just
being
the
honest.
extended ones.
I was super done at this point. I just skipped them all.
Cold as You. And I think Forever After All, I think is his current like highest charting song.
Really?
But
Yeah,
it
I did recognize that had a ton of
Streams?
streams
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
was listening through. Like, they kind of really died off, and then all of a sudden that song had like 1 million.
Yeah,
I was
like
like,
50 mil.
yeah.
I wrote for that track. It's his highest charting as of now, but I don't really see why. It sounds just like the rest of the album, but I'm sure it slaps at the illegal no-mask Mississippi parties drinking this shitty beer.
Wow.
That was mic drop on that. That was great.
I spent some time doing notes.
Wow.
We are the Hops and
did.
Bops podcast. We will see you next week.
And
credits.
drop.
Roll credits. Fade out.
I'm sorry.
Kind of just overall thoughts. Like I said, I was expecting more out of this album, but
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting because country is all about vibe and lyrics, and so like. I know I wasn't going to listen to a rock album with like intricate guitar parts and cool drum parts and syncopated rhythms and things. I know it wasn't going to be on there. So like, should I knock him for not creating an album I thought I was going to listen to? Probably not. That's not exactly fair. But I just wanted more from him because I know he's such a good singer.
Yeah.
But I know his performance is probably fucking killer, like live. That's kind of where I am.
Yeah, never has an album title lived up to the album as much. You see it's what you get.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I expected exactly what I got, which was country that I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I tried. I really, first few songs I sat there and I really tried to be like, okay, I'm just going to listen. As soon as the vocals and the lyrics come in, it just, something in my brain shuts off and goes, I can't do this.
Yeah.
It's just not,
Well, right. I mean,
not for me.
last episode, when we talked about Tickets to My Downfall by Machine Gun Kelly, when we finished recording, our guest Joey said that, you know, it may not have been a good album, but it's a good album to play when you're looking for a specific vibe. You know, you throw it on, you want that kind of pop punk feel. You throw it on, you're not really paying attention to the songs, but it's there. This album is that for me. You know, you put this on for the outdoor parties, like I said. So I thought that was a good point to kind of make. But if you chop off like 4 or 5 songs, maybe even more, you might have a stronger album here. I don't know.
Favorites, least favorites, sleepers?
Yeah. So, you want to start, Tom?
I would love to start. My favorite was Beer Never Broke My Heart. It was the first track on the album, first track I ever heard from Luke Combs. A very party-heavy drinking song that I've partied and drank too. So it fits that vibe perfectly. Got a lot of energy and charisma on it. He kind of shines a lot more on this vocally than he does on a lot of other tracks. And good opener.
Yeah. It's also my top track too. I mean, it's a great kick in the ass. It's a fun song. Good representation of the album. Good representation of who he is. Beer Never Broke My Heart.
Yeah. It's also the first song I ever heard by him because the first song on the album, I never heard any songs. So by default, it is the first song I ever heard. It did start well. I'm going to say same for me. I mean, I really struggled. I couldn't pinpoint a single song that I really was like, oh, that's a good song. I'd listen to it again. But if somebody was like pointing a gun at my head and like holding me to the ground, this would probably be the one I'd pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, then it goes to me. Okay. So you guys all picked Beer Never Broke My Heart. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to say that my favorite, you guys are going to be a little surprised by this, was Lovin' On You. And the reason why I like that is just because I feel like it was, Beer Never Broke My Heart is your classic, like every country song has a song like that. So I feel like Lovin' On You just add a little bit more to it, which I can't put my finger on. I found the one that I probably didn't like the most was Dear Today, which I know you said you liked it. But the reason why I didn't like it is because I feel like every time it started, I just skipped it. I was a little bit bored with it. The acoustic was cool. I get that it was different, but I couldn't listen to it. I always switched it. Okay. And then my middle one, are we supposed to pick the middle one? Just kidding. Okay. No, everyone is
Closet
okay.
Sleepers.
She caught on right away.
She did.
So the last person that says top track starts off the bottom track.
And then we
And then we all
kind of
rotate around.
pivot from
So
there.
that
So
worked out perfect.
Nice.
Well done.
Thanks, guys.
Go ahead, Tom.
Okay.
I actually agree. My least favorite was For Today as well.
Ooh.
Or Dear Today. See, I don't even know the name of the track.
Four Deers Today.
Yeah.
That could be a country song. 4 Deers Today. Tell me
Have
Four
a
beers.
Yeah.
4 beers.
Or 4 beers today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they should have at least stuck to one of the two styles that they did. So I feel like they should have at least stuck to that acoustic intro and kept with that. Maybe mix it a little bit better, gussied it up, and put it as like just him and a guitar. And that would have been a lot better than what it turned out to be because it was just very disappointing to hear it go back to the same country sound on the chorus.
Yep.
Yeah.
And same things that Amanda said. Not my favorite.
My least favorite was New Every Day. I didn't really like how he sang the chorus. And again, like a lot of other songs, it just didn't really stand out to me. So that's the one that I can kind of just throw away.
All right, I'm going to do a little switch up right here. So, Dear Today was my sleeper the first minute and a half. The back minute and a half, not so much, but the first minute and a half would have been my sleeper if it continued. And the reason I'm making that switch to the sleeper quick is because then the least favorite was Everything Else.
It's a very big tie.
I really couldn't pick one song that just was like no for me. Like
It's a 20-track tie.
more or less, yeah. And I couldn't pinpoint one song that I listed as my least because I'll be honest with you, I will never listen to this album again.
Damn.
Damn.
As a country leader.
6 feet under.
The whole album.
Yeah.
Whole album.
Oh, wow.
So your sleeper was the first half.
The
of
first half of today.
All
Yes.
right. What was your sleeper?
See, I was
first.
looking. I don't know if I have necessarily a sleeper. I kind of like.
Yeah, it's like a song that's not really the most popular, but you
Yeah.
can still
You
recommend
like.
to someone.
Yeah.
So, no.
It's
I
a
don't-
big choice.
I'm like
There's
in
a
the
lot
middle
riding.
here because, like, even though I'm leaving, it's one of my favorites on the album. But I feel like you have to give it a chance to listen to it. But it's already on the radio, so everyone knows it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's where like I'm trying to think of someone to open up the album and randomly never listen to it before. I'd say. See, I hate using the word sleeper, but because even though I'm leaving, starts off a little odd, but listen to the whole thing because it's going to become one of your favorites.
Oh, all right.
That's
I like
perfect.
it.
Okay.
Well, you know, it's probably on country radio a lot, but if you're not listening to country
That's
radio,
true.
you may have not have heard
Yeah.
it. So
I had to hear it once or twice before I liked it, and I was like, wow, like this has so much to it that I feel like it can really help somebody out
yeah,
one day.
yeah.
I listened to the whole album, and I still don't know if I heard it.
He's like, yes, and that's one of the titles. Okay, all right.
I wonder if you like this album or
Yeah,
not, Mike.
you definitely are a country fan. I had no idea, Mike.
I'm kind of in the similar boat because I picked Refrigerator Door as my my sleeper.
It's a good
because
pick.
it's not really like a forgotten track. It's the second one, and it's got all these plays. But I enjoy the lyrical content, kind of delving into a topic that's not really talked about a lot, and taking it and making it as emotional as he did. Pretty decent vocals. Caught myself singing it a lot, so yeah, it's my sleeper.
Cool. That's a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
I was considering that one, but in typical Joe style,
Is there a tie?
Where's
I,
your tie?
I do have a tie.
Well,
So
I did the Joe style too for
you-
my least.
that is true.
All of them.
My my dark horse, I guess, my legit dark horse is Reasons. Kind of like Refrigerator Door. I just kind of like that song. It's later in the album and kind of caught my ear. I enjoy listening to it. So definitely listen to Reasons. But then 6 Feet Apart. I really think everyone should listen to that song. Even if you don't like country, I think you can relate to that song. It's a song that needed to be written. He did a great job with it. Nice, simple listen. So Reasons and 6 Feet Apart. Go check those out. All right. Let's rate the bad boy.
Let's rate it. Who wants to start?
Michael.
I'm nervous.
All right.
Oh, wow.
I
Starting
gave
with
it.
Mike.
I gave it a number.
I hope so.
I'm giving it a 1.
A 1.
I can't. It's the lowest album I've given so far. I know that.
Yeah.
I tried. I really did. Every song was. I could have skipped the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just not for me,
It
man.
is what
I
it
tried
is.
to be as open minded as I could, and I just.
I'm surprised you rated it that high.
You know, you know what, again, the musicianship. There are, when you mix in the banjos, and there's a ton of instruments, and you're making it all work together. I give them credit for that. You know what I mean? It's not like it's bad music. It's just not for me, and I really had a hard time getting over that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
that's understandable.
It's a 1.
Oh, I'm next. Okay. I'm gonna do a 7.
We do out of 5.
We do out of 5, huh?
You could
okay.
still do
We should,
7
I'm
if
gonna
we
you
do
should
really
do out
want.
of 10 now.
Why don't we do out of 10, guys? Come on
I'd
now.
still give it a 1.
Then I'm gonna give a 3.5, 3.2.
Yep.
Can I do that? Can I do points?
Ooh,
3.5.
1.2.
I'm gonna do a 3.2,
Okay.
and the reason why I say that is because someone who, again, I feel like I've said it so many times, this has been following country their whole life, but it's what we needed. I feel like Luke Combs in general is what we needed to kind of bring back that country feel. But I do feel like there's a lot of songs that I found were repetitive, like we have kind of discussed. But and yeah, I feel like he could have added a little more like fun. Bad word.
I get
He
that,
has
though.
fun songs in there, but I feel like he could have thrown a couple more in there. But in general, Luke Combs is just fantastic. So for those who haven't listened to the album, give it a try.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless you're Mike,
Yeah.
who was forced to do it.
Don't give it a try. I'll be the bridge, and I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5. I can give it credit for being really good vibe music, like I've mentioned before. Really depends on the setting or whether or not the weather's good. Honestly, it's hard to do in the middle of December, so I get it. But there's a lot of forgettable moments on it. I would say after like the 7th or 8th track, it's just not very good at the rest of the album. But for what it does have in the front half, I thought it was pretty enjoyable. So 2.5.
Yeah. I actually gave it a 3. which I thought was a low rating for me, but seems to be higher than a lot of people. I think Amanda rated it highest, 3.2. But I agree with a lot of what you guys said. I thought it was very top heavy. It hit all the different themes and different song styles in the first half of the album. If they just chopped off a lot of the fat, I guess, might have been a stronger album. But you know, there's some good songs on there. Musicianship is good, but I was hoping for more. I really wanted to give a 4, you know, to this, like, because I love him, but it's sitting at a 3 for me. So there you go. So now we got to rank the beers. Which one do we like the best, the middle, and the least?
Okay.
All right. So we have Bud Light, Coors Light, and Miller Lite. Amanda, you want to do the honors?
Oh, I would
as our
love
guest?
to. I'm going to go with Miller Lite as my top.
Okay.
Do I have to describe why?
No, that's okay.
No.
Okay, because I feel like it's pretty basic.
Yeah.
And then I would go Coors Light, and then I would go Bud Light.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, Joe.
I also agree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mike?
I'm
Michael?
going to be the different guy. Fitting for this episode. Bud Light for me would be the one. I grew up with my dad drinking that all the time, and not that he does really much anymore. I've got him drinking other stuff, but it was Bud Light. Just, I don't know, it doesn't have as much of an aftertaste. So when I'm drinking that, as long as it goes down and I don't have to continue to taste it,
Never
it
broke your
wins. So Bud Light, and then Miller Lite, and then Coors Light's the absolute bottom for me.
Yeah.
Always has been.
All right. Well, there you go. The tailgate. It has come to an end.
Motherfucker.
Very good. So, just quick shout outs here.
Are we shotgunning now?
We should shotgun to finish.
That's how we end our every episode.
Yeah.
Shotgun whatever's left.
So, Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Lite on Instagram, all one word. But Miller Lite is Lite, so be mindful of that. And then for Luke Combs, it's just Luke Combs on Instagram. Check him out. His website, Facebook, all that good stuff. And so there you go. Next episode, we're really switching some things up here in our new year, episode 19.
Yes.
We got something really fun planned for you. To our listeners out there, we swear to God we did not sell out, okay? We swear to God we didn't, okay? But for this next episode, we're drinking a wine. We're doing a wine.
Uh-oh.
But not
19 crimes.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg's Cali Red.
Yes. That's why. Snoop
For
Dogg.
shizzle.
And Tom, what are we pairing it with?
We picked his classic 1993 album, 𝘼𝙬𝙬.
Yes.
Classic West Coast hip hop sound. Can't wait to give that one a review.
G-Funk, West Coast hip hop. Yeah, so it's an all Snoop episode. Next episode, so be sure to check that out. Before we wrap up, though, I just want to give a quick shout out to another podcast that we've kind of become friends with through Instagram, thank God. So, quick shout out to the guys over at Beers and Beards podcast.
That's a great name.
Yes.
Wow.
So they talk about beers, the drink, beards as in facial hair.
I let you guys down. I'm
Like
sorry.
yours.
I know. Yeah.
Like all of yours.
I do my
I know.
best.
Come on, Mike. Yours is actually coming in nice.
It's not bad, thank you.
But they
I don't
also
have any.
talk.
It took 31 years.
Yeah, right. They also talk about bourbon. They mix in some music. Really cool guys. So check out their podcast too. It sounds like our two podcasts are in the similar genre here. Yeah. So, great that they reached out to us and we partnered with them, and maybe we can do something in the future. But check them out on Instagram. They're Beers Beards Podcast. They're in our follow. So if you can't find it, just look through our follows. Beers Beards Podcast. Thanks a lot for the hookup there for sure. So, all right. So we have been the Hops and Bops podcast. We want to thank our guest, Amanda,
Thanks
here.
for having me, guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Come back again.
No problem.
We didn't fight the way I thought we would.
No, we
It
didn't.
was very simple.
It was very civil. We'll plan another one soon and we'll go at it.
Yeah, if you ever want to come back, you get to choose the album and the drink and the beer, whatever you want to do.
Can't be Miller Lite again.
Maybe I'll take a wine. I'll throw one in there.
There you go. But so Hops and Bops podcast on Instagram and Facebook. We're streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. For Mike and Tom and our guest Amanda, I've been Joe. We'll see you next time.
Peace.